Right, what is going on YouTube? Happy Sunday. We've got NFL, we got NBA. So this video, we're just going to talk about the NFL today. I'm going to walk through each game with you guys, give you my best bets. As always, we'll talk a little bit about yesterday. But before we do that, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free as we continue to grow the channel. And then join the Discord. Link is down below. I'll drop an NBA video. Let's say if we get 10 comments, I'll drop an NBA video today. Obviously, I will post it in the Discord either way. So Discord will have the NBA. Like I said, absolutely free to join. Let's get into yesterday, and then we'll talk about this NFL slate today. So we went 6-5 yesterday. Pretty crappy. We went, we went 3-2 on the NBA. We had one did not play. So Cat did not play. We went 2-1 in college basketball. And we went 1-2 in college football. So we had Miami versus Ohio. Miami let us down. And then SMU. Oregon was a pretty, I don't want to say easy win, but fairly simple win, I would say. All right, let's get into this slate, get you guys going. We'll talk about injuries first because there are a couple of injuries to note here. So Breece Hall is doubtful today for the Jets. Malik Neighbors is questionable with a hip injury for the Giants. Bucky Irving is questionable with a hip and back injury. So that is interesting. If he doesn't play, I do like Rachaad White anytime touchdown. DeAndre Swift, questionable with a quad injury. DJ Moore is questionable with a quad injury. Kenneth Walker, questionable with an ankle and a calf injury. Alexander Madison is questionable for Las Vegas. Jamar Chase is technically has an issue, but he's a full participant, so I fully expect him to play tomorrow. Devontae Smith will play today, so he is back. Jake Ferguson is back, so he'll play tomorrow. And then Dallas Goedert is out again today. So glad I picked him up in fantasy. So those kind of your major injuries, but let's get into this card. Jacksonville Jaguars, Tennessee Titans. Jaguars. I thought Trevor Lawrence got killed last week, but he didn't. Hard to fade the Titans at home. That said, this line has come down to 3. It's -3.5, but on DraftKings, it's -3. I do like the -3. In terms of the over-under, there's a lot of uncertainty about Jacksonville and how their offense will look, so I really don't want to touch that, and I don't trust Will Levis, honestly. But I do trust that they can beat this Jacksonville team at home. Titans are a good team at home. So Titans -3, Raiders and the Bucks. Bucks -6.5 looks pretty appealing, honestly. And I think the over has a pretty good chance of hitting. Again, you're kind of trusting a really bad offense in Las Vegas, but the Bucks, they're all about trading points, so they will give up some points for sure, and they should put some up. That said, this Raiders D has been decent, but the Bucks offense looking really good. Obviously, the Bucky Irving injury status will affect that to me, so I really don't necessarily want to touch the over, but I do like Tampa Bay -6.5 in this spot. I think they blow them out in the second half. I think it's a fairly close game in the first half. It's just kind of how these Raiders games have gone. And then once we reach the second half, they start making mistakes that seem to compound against each other. All right, Jets and the Dolphins. Ooh, not a fun game. At least it's in Miami, so you get some warm weather. But I really don't see a spot where you don't take Miami -6 here. It's just so much better team. Now, Miami's not going to be able to run the ball a ton, but they should have a lot of success through the air. One of the plays I like today is Jonnu Smith over 49.5 receiving yards. I also don't mind his receptions line at 4.5 either. The Jets have been horrendous against tight ends. They've been getting torched by them. So Miami -5.5, -6, whatever you have it. It's funny. It actually is different on mine. I have a 5.5, so it might be 5.5 now. Even better. Browns and the Steelers. Steelers -6.5. I like it. They look fantastic last week. Russell Wilson threw for 7,800 yards against the Bengals. But no, really, he went for over 400. I kind of lean towards the under in this spot. This feels like a good AFC North smash mouth game after just an absolute offensive showcase last week. I feel like this might be a little lower. I don't trust Jameson to do anything, to be honest. So can't get behind him, but I think 6.5 is a little high with any AFC North game. Kind of a pass for me, to be honest. I probably won't have anything on this, but lean would be towards Pittsburgh -6.5, but it's a little high. I guess we do have something on this. I lied. We have a teaser. I like a teaser on this. All right, Saints and the Giants, two teams that are struggling with all kinds of shit. They got a lot of stuff going on internally. Kind of hard for me to take the Giants for anything. I don't care if they're at home. They don't have a great record at home. They got quarterback issues. If Neighbors is out, I mean, they're screwed. So Saints -4.5 in this one, but I just don't trust them. If it was -2.5, yeah, I'm all aboard the Saints, but they've got their own injury issues that they're dealing with, but they're the better team at the end of the day. I would lean towards that over 40.5. I think there is good value there. I think the Giants are able to score against the Saints, and I think the Saints are able to score against the Giants. So over 40.5 would be my best bet there. Falcons and the Vikings. It feels like we're getting to that point in the season where we're going to start to see Penix playing, right? And this is that game where I feel like that might happen. I think Minnesota, they've been able to keep it. They just haven't been playing well, let's be honest. Aaron Jones has been having some fumbling issues. They've got their own set of things that they need to fix. So that said, I can't take Atlanta here. So Minnesota -6. I think the over-under is appropriately placed. But I think Minnesota gets out early, and I think we might see Penix start to come in. I think they're going to start to think about next year, and I don't think Kirk Cousins is in those plans. So Minnesota -6 here. Panthers and the Eagles. Ugh. Now, if you're a conspiracy theorist, somebody put $3 million on the Eagles to win. So, if you like to go that way, I'm not taking Philly -13.5. They are by far the more superior team, but Bryce Young's actually looked significantly better over the last couple of weeks. I could see Philly getting a little complacent in this game, to be honest. It's just not a game I want to touch. I don't like the over-under. I don't like Philly -13.5. Hold a gun to my head, I'm picking Philly -13.5, but not something I plan on betting on unless it's part of a teaser, which it is. So I like them in a teaser. All right, Seahawks and the Cardinals. This should be a really good game. There's some heavy money on the under here. I don't know if I can get behind that. If anything, just this Cardinals team doesn't have the greatest defense. I would probably lean towards the over, but not going to touch it. I like Arizona in this spot. I think they come out pretty hot, and I think they get the win. I think probably more people are going to be on the Seahawks today, though. I'm pretty sure I'm probably on the flip side of that, but I got the Cardinals at -2.5, so I feel good about that pick. All right, Bears and the 49ers. This one should be interesting. Obviously, McCaffrey is pretty much out for the year, and their backup running back is also out. So we're on our third running back. That said, dude's pretty good. I think the Bears struggle. I think we got coaching issues, right? So now we've got an interim coach in there. San Francisco -3. We're getting really good value here. San Francisco is still a great team. They're still at home. So -3, good bet here. All right, Bills and the Rams. I think this one will be pretty interesting. A 3.5 is a lot lower than I thought. I thought this was going to be somewhere around 5.5. So I can't not take the Bills. I don't really care if it's in Los Angeles. Give me Buffalo -3.5 all day here. I would actually lean towards the under 49.5. I don't think the Rams have a ton of success today. That said, I mean, they got weapons. They got Kyron Williams, they got Puka, they got Kupp. Like, they do have some offensive weapons, DeMarcus Robinson every once in a while. But the Bills are just too good, man. Way too good of a team here. All right, Chargers and the Chiefs, last game we're going to talk about here. Kansas City -3.5 feels light. This Chargers team, I just don't think they're that good, personally. Chiefs are way better. -3.5. To me, good value there. Maybe bump it down to 3, eat the half a point just so you can take a push. But Kansas City in the spot all day for me. All right, let's talk about our picks, get you guys out of here. First thing that we are going to do, we already talked about this, but it's going to be the Jonnu Smith over 49.5 receiving yards. 8 of the last 11 tight ends are over their receiving yards line versus the Jets. So we've got numbers on our side, and he's just been a huge piece of this offense. Mike Evans under 5.5 receptions. He's only hit this in 3 of his last 10 games. So I like him to go under here. Patrick Mahomes over 34.5 pass attempts. He's over this in 7 of his last 10 games. I think the Chargers will do an okay job of limiting rushing yards. They're 14th right now in terms of rushing yards allowed. And then Patrick Mahomes is over this passing attempt line in 4 of his last 5 home games. And we see a fairly tight spread of 3.5. Kyren Williams over 15.5 rush attempts. He's over this in 9 of his last 10 games. So not going to fade that. Now that said, when you turn this into a loss, if they end up losing, now he doesn't cover that line nearly as much. It's about 30% of the time. But I do think that they will continue to try to run the ball, and they should have somewhat of success. Buffalo will give you some rushing yards, so I'm sure that's in the game plan. All right, Aaron Jones over 2.5 receptions. He's over this in the last 2 games. He's having some fumbling issues. So where they've been using him is in the receiving game. So I think they will continue to do that, and hopefully he can knock that line out for us. Now we get to the games. Dolphins -6 versus the Jets. Jets suck. There's just nothing more I can say. Dolphins offensively just have too many weapons and they're dangerous. So Dolphins -6 in this one. Arizona -2.5 versus Seattle. Like I said, if I had to guess, the public's probably on Seattle. But I like Arizona in this spot. And then we're going to finish it up with a 7-point teaser. Not a 6. We're going to go 7. If you want to do a 6-point teaser, this is +160, but we're taking the extra point here, and that is the Steelers, the Eagles, and the Titans. 7-point teaser gets us to -6.5 with the Eagles and gets us to +4 with the Titans. So 2 key numbers there in why I didn't go with 6 and went with 7. All right, so those are my best bets. Like I said, guys, if you want an NFL video to post, comment down below. Comment anything. We get 10 comments. I will post an NBA video, not an NFL, NBA. But like I said, if you want to join the Discord, I will post those in there either way. So good luck today, and I'll catch you in the next video.